Yo, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, MySpace, Airbnb, Uber Eats. It's like, no, I'm just playing. What's up, y'all, man? Like, yo, welcome to the Malcolm Cook Show, man, and I'm Malcolm Cook. This is my second episode, and I just really want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for the encouraging words that I've gotten, all the DMs that I've gotten, the receptiveness that I've been getting from this. The reception that I've gotten from this is just crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just trying, man. Like, I've been talking about doing a YouTube channel for years. People ask me questions every day, and my woman was just like, look, man, make a YouTube. So here I am, and I got like 40 something subscribers in one day, and it's like, bruv, I know 40 subscribers in the grand scheme of the world ain't shit, but yo, y'all chose to shop with me on my very first day, on my very first episode of a brand new channel, and yo, I'm just letting you know, I'm really grateful, and with that said, I am not gonna stop because y'all are fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, thank you. Today's topic is gonna be it's gonna be about working in corporate America, landing a job in corporate America without a degree. So that's what we're going today. Little known fact, or people that follow me know, but people that haven't followed me, I worked at National Geographic from the age of 22 to like 24 and some change, and then from 24 to about 26, 27, I worked at the Washington Post. At National Geographic, I worked as a as a equipment coordinator, and basically what my job for them was, I would take, this microphone, the camera that I'm recording to shoot this with, the lights that I'm using, and I would put them all into a case, scan them out, and give them out to people to use. I ran a camera shop with my boss. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Nicholas Donnelly, by the way. Every time I'm on a camera topic, you'll hear about this dude because he changed my life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's what I did for Nat Geo, and for the Washington Post, I was I held two positions there. So one position I held was what was my title? Studio technician, and then my other title there, when I got raised up, was videographer and editor. And I did both of those jobs for about 2 years and some change, culminating in about 5 years of my life being spent in corporate America. And as you could tell by my verbiage, you know what I'm saying, my tattoo choices, the way I dress, my love for marijuana, corporate didn't last long for me, but a lot of questions a question that I get pretty often is, how did I land these positions? And the long version short, man, is I landed the positions that I have throughout my life without any kind of like formal education, from meeting people and showing the value in what I knew when I met these people. And I know people wanted like some kind of like YouTube cheat code answer and shit like that, but as you heard before, man, it's not about necessarily what you know. What I always say is, it's not what you know, it's who knows what you know. And yeah, man. So basically, long version short, I'll save this story for another day. But basically, when I was like 21, I lied. When I was 18, 19. Damn, I gave every fucking age except the age that I'm trying to say. Bruh, alright. So, when I was like 19 years old, I dropped out of college. And, I did the normal, what is my life's purpose conversation. And I was studying music in college to become a music educator. And I'm like, bruv, I don't even like kids that much enough to like want to wake up every morning and deal with a nigga like how I was as a student. So I'm like, nah, son, I'm good on that. And then I did the EMT program to become an emergency medical technician and work on an ambulance. And I got certified. I passed with flying colors. And I was like, bruv, I don't want to do this shit either. Cause I looked at the pay rate or whatever, and in DC, you know, to work as an EMT, you was making, I don't want to make up a number, but you was making probably like $15 an hour or something like that. And the fucking, I looked at, you know, all the other Joe Blow jobs that was on the internet, one being Forever 21, and they was making like a few dollars less. So I'm like, hold on, I don't gotta worry about like people dying and murder and grief and acting cool with the police, and do all this bullshit to make $2 or $3 more an hour than I could for just like getting fly, putting on cologne, and talking to women all day for money. Working at Forever 21. So that was my college backstory. So for whatever reasons I had, and another reason I dropped out of college was because I had fucking I talked to my counselor and they told me that I had to have like 6 math credits to graduate, because I was on an 11th grade math level as a college freshman. So I had to take the 4 required courses plus the 2 courses to get on level. And I was like, bruh, I'm not about to take, I don't care, bruh. I'm not about to take these 6 math classes. So between those 6 math classes, my disdain for kids, and just life timing, I was like, yo, I'm out of school right now. I went to art school with a bunch of cool dudes, you know what I'm saying? A bunch of cool people, not just dudes, but a bunch of cool motherfuckers I went to art school with. And, you know, I built really cool relationships with these people throughout my life. And I was watching a lot of my artist buddies go through the same transition as I, you know, trying to figure out the college to work to art ratio, you know what I'm saying? So I settled on dropping out. Of course, my mom and dad weren't very pleased with that, and you know, it was what it was, because that's a whole nother topic for another day. But I'm gonna name that one. I love you to death, mom and dad, but fuck that, is my life. Yeah, so long version short, I'll talk about how I got inspired as a cameraman on a later date as well. But I stumbled across cameras, and once I was into the camera world, I knew that working in Forever 21 and Guess and Carolina Kitchen and Shoe City, these are all places I've worked at. I realized that, bruh, I don't want to do this with my life and my time either, you know. And luckily, like I said, I stumbled across cameras. Once I stumbled across cameras, I was doing a bunch of like hood nigga music videos. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was in the trenches. Shouts out to Swacko Bellinelli, YRN. I was on around 24th and Bang Bang. You know what I'm saying? On the south side of the city, bro. Like, in a suit, trying to like make this camera shit pop. And you know, I charged for my very first video I ever did. I charged the nigga $150. You know what I'm saying? And I split that 2 ways, and I worked on it for about 3 weeks, and like, you know, it was a lot of effort. So I probably made about 4 cents an hour. You know what I'm saying? After you break the math down, 2 cents an hour between labor, effort, time, resources, money, about 4 cents an hour. But it was my fucking 4 cents that I earned for the first time ever in my life, off the strength of just something that I was good at. You know what I'm saying? I was working. So I kept getting a regular job and being like, I'm gonna be a cameraman, and I quit. I'm gonna get a regular job. I'm gonna be a cameraman, and I quit. So I got cool. So all right, let me tell y'all how it went down. I'm gonna tell y'all specifically how it went down for me. I was working at where was I at? I worked at Carolina Kitchen. I quit that shit. I got burnt, and I got burnt directly like on this tattoo and shit. And that joint was like, I'm like, nah, bruh. So long version short, I was outside of a tattoo parlor. My buddy there had an apprenticeship. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Marcelo Martinez. I love you, bro. I was outside of his tattoo shop that he was apprenticing at the time, and a dude was outside, and he had like a fucking like Pelican case. And Pelican cases are like these waterproof camera cases. And up until that point, I never seen no shit like that. So I'm like, I needed a lighter, and I see this Pelican case, and he had a cigarette. So I'm like, he got a lighter, and I want to know what's up with this bag. I'm gonna go say what's up to this dude. So I'm like, oh, what's up, man? How are you? Do you have a lighter? He goes, yeah, I got a lighter. And I was like, he gave me a lighter, whatever. And I go, not to be in your business, man, but what the fuck is in that case? Like, that's an industrial ass case. And he's like, oh man, these are my camera lenses. And I'm like, oh, I'm a cameraman. And up until that point, all I shot was around the way hood videos. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, all right. He was like, are you free tomorrow? I was like, yeah, I'm free tomorrow. I come out tomorrow. This dude has a full professional set. I'm talking about lenses and lights and rigs and sliders and dollies and, shit that I've only YouTubed or dreamed about being around and seeing. And I was here with these dudes who had it. So they ended up, I had a high top fade at the time, and they ended up putting me in the video because of my high top fade. They had me do a sax solo that they didn't have a musician to actually play on camera. So they had me do the sax solo, and I was hanging out, and I got cool with the dude's brother. The dude's brother, got cool. I got cooler with the dude's brother that I did with the original guy. But these dudes weren't from DC, so I was trying to show them around, try to get them cool with people and shit like that. And I ended up bringing them around my buddy who I was doing the camera stuff with. Shouts out to John Brooks. And we both got really cool with a different brother. So I was super cool with one guy, and my man was cool with the brother. So we ended up making a little social group, I guess, to where they were throwing us work. Anything that they couldn't do, they was teaching us. You know what I'm saying? I remember they brought me over to their house and showed me how to use a Zoom, which is like a basic audio recording unit. And they were just showing us things and bringing us to more sets and paying us $100 or $150. But it's like, bruh, that's a lot of money when I charged $150 for my whole video, and I get to make $150 to help this dude out today. And that's when I found out about the term PA, production assistant. And so that's the backstory. I met these two dudes, and the dude looked me in my face. He was like, "You got a gig?" And I was like, "Nah, man. I ain't got no gigs, but I gotta work." And he was like, "Oh man, you gotta work. I was gonna give you a gig with Under Armour." And I'm like, "Nah, man, I can't do it because I gotta work." And I was working at a restaurant as a busboy on some days and as a host some days. And he was like, all no disrespect, bro, how much do you make at the restaurant? And I'm like, yo, I make about 400. He was like, a day? I was like, nah, every 2 weeks. He said, you make $400 every 2 weeks, bruh? And he looked me in my eyes. He was like, bruh, quit your job. Quit your job. You can make $150 a day as a PA, and I'll give you 3 of those gigs a month. You know what I'm saying? 3 of those gigs every 2 weeks to get money in your pocket. Don't waste your time on doing that. And I'm looking at this nigga that's preposterous. Quit my job. And however it went down, long version short, I kept trying to catch gigs and work a regular job. But my man was like, look, bro, these opportunities are going to arise, and you got to choose what side of the fence you're trying to be on. So I ended up working a gig, and I made $1,000, $1,300, and I never in my life thought I could do anything legal to make $1,300. You know what I'm saying? In a couple days. I took that money, I moved out my mom's house. The one thing I didn't realize about that money was bruh, once you got that little bit of money, you know what I'm saying, that shit's gonna be gone the second you leave. So I was outside. I was out of my mom's house, out of the nest, dropped out of school, working dead-end jobs, and I got this random white dude telling me, bruh, quit your job. They're gonna change your life. So the guy's brother, who I got super cool with, he kept bringing me on to stuff. And the stuff that he was bringing me onto was like up in the ante, up in the ante. And I realized I couldn't keep saying no to this dude, or I couldn't say no to this dude without losing my jobs. So I vowed to myself, look, man, unless I played the drums, because I'm a drummer, I'm like, unless I played the drums or shot a video to get the money, I'm good on the money. For right now, I don't want no other money in my life, because that means I'm doing something that doesn't resonate positively with my spirit. So that was a really hard step to make, to be like, you know what, man, I'm not about to spend my time this way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a big leap to make. And it was the scariest thing I ever done. But along with cutting that kind of tie around you, when you cut that kind of tie, you gain a hunger and you learn things about yourself that you didn't have the luxury of knowing about yourself before that juncture. And what that basically means is, to me, it's like, you know, once you're cozy and you got a certain cesspool of lifestyle going, it's super easy to get super wrapped up in that. Then I thought about it and I'm like, this isn't cozy. You know what I'm saying? I gotta break out of this if I want to get to the next step. And the next step looked like struggle. And I didn't know what the next step looked like. But, you know, when I cut the means of retreat and said, fuck these jobs, I'm a cameraman now, I'm a musician full time. I went out on the streets with my right hand man. We was busking. I'm talking about, like, we playing the drums, pianos, guitars on the street for money. You know what I'm saying? Only in the name of being able to catch film gigs. So I ended up catching a film gig with the Smithsonian, and I got that gig strictly from my buddy who I told you guys about that plugged me in the first place. At this point, I'm building a skill set. You know what I'm saying? I'm building a resume that I don't have to include Shoe City on. And granted, some of these things were just one day things. You know what I'm saying? But to get into the game, well, fuck the game. I got into the car with the dude, and me and him driving back from this gig, and he's like, bruh, would you ever work in an office? And I'm like, an office where? He was like, you know, at National Geographic, man. It's just an equipment gig or whatever. National Geographic, nigga, stop playing with me, bruh. Of course. I'm talking about, what do I sound like, bruh? I'm talking about, bro, I am hitting on the street as a street musician, and you talking about would I work at an office at National Geographic? Hell yeah, I would work at an office at National Geographic. And I'm talking about, and the same enthusiasm that I'm sharing with y'all now is the same enthusiasm I had with my man in the car. I'm like, hell yeah, I'd work. Man, stop playing with me. Plug me in. So he put my name in a hat. With his old boss that he knew there, and he got me an interview. In the interview, he brought out cameras and he made me put stuff together, and he asked me all these strenuous questions. And it was like, you know, it was a fun interview, but it was like a test. Some of the answers I knew and some of the answers I didn't know. But the answers that I knew, I only knew because in the midst of me saying I'm only going to do this camera shit or music to get my money, it changed my mentality on education. So I'm like, I ain't got to go to somebody's classroom to learn. I'm going to hit YouTube every day. You know what I'm saying? I have my camera. Without YouTube, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to look at every button and I'm going to figure out what it changes and why it's important. You know what I'm saying? So I started learning the details of my craft to a level that surpassed what I could even fathom. With and without mentorship, you know, between the dudes that I met, YouTube videos, and just trying, I was learning things. You know what I'm saying? Backstory. Like I told you guys, I was strapped for money, and when you strap for money, you got to have creative problem solving skills. But sometimes you just need money solving skills. You know what I'm saying? And I had some money from something that I've done or whatever, and I had a video shoot. And I wanted to use a really nice camera for that video shoot, and I had means to it, but the dude was going to charge me a little bit of money. He was giving me a discount, but even what he was charging me, I like didn't really want to pay. You know what I'm saying? So I did it anyway because I wanted to up my quality. work, just by having a better tool. You know what I'm saying? It's like making a video, or trying to build something with a screwdriver or a drill. The screwdriver get it done, but this drill gonna make this shit tight. You know what I'm saying? Literally. And so basically, I rented the drill of cameras. You know what I'm saying? Fast forward back to my interview. The camera that he had me build was the same camera that I rented with little to no money in my pocket. And the importance in that is that I didn't know what, besides me wanting to make my shit look better, I didn't know what the ethers wanted me to get that camera for. And I realized I rented that camera strictly to be prepared for that interview that changed my entire life. And people go, what? I can't make those things up in my life. And I'm like, no, you can't, because you don't know what's going to be on the other side of them. But you got to do the back end work, because the back end work will show face later on. You know what I'm saying? Like, later on, the back end, whatever you're doing on the backside of like trying to get your goals accomplished, will, like the saying they say, the same people you see on the way up, you see on the way down. It's the same thing with like working for your goals. The same lessons and things that you thought were minuscule and unimportant on your way of trying to get to something that you don't even know where you're going. But when you get to the other side, you go, wow, I'm super glad that I learned this part. I'm super glad that I did it this way. I'm super glad that I applied myself to this, because now I'm in the real world, and these things that I've done on my own accord are practical. You know what I'm saying? And not only practical, these things that I've learned on my own accord right now are a necessity to what I'm trying to get done. Without me knowing that they were going to be a necessity, I was learning these things. Specifically that camera, because I was just like, bruh, I don't got no other thing. Like, what I'm about to do with my day, I need to learn this shit. You know what I'm saying? My men was like, oh, let's go. I live with all my boys. I live with like 3 niggas. You know what I'm saying? They like, bruh, let's go hit the bar. I'm like, bruh, I can't hit the bar. I'm learning how to use After Effects. You know what I'm saying? I can't hit the bar. I'm learning how the difference between a shutter speed, a frame rate, a ISO, and fucking white balance. That's what I'm learning right now. I have to know what this means. That way, when the occasion and the opportunity arises, I'll be prepared to slam dunk it. You know what I'm saying? So the interview had all these little test things and and all these different questions and all this. Put this together, and it was trick questions, and it was broken equipment that was put in the midst of me having to put together. And I didn't have the I know 1,000 people could have come into that interview and did the tasks at hand a lot better than I did. But I had an attitude of like, I don't give a fuck about what they talking about. I'm gonna try my best right now. Like, I'm talking about, I'm going to try my best right now. And I realized, when I was, after I was working on these different sets and working with my homies, I'm like, I pedalized corporations. I realized, like, bro, these aren't just corporations. These are corporations that are ran by other motherfuckers that look just like me. And I don't mean look like me, black people. I'm talking about, this is another person. This entity isn't a robot. This entity isn't a fucking, you know what I'm saying, like, bigger than you. You know what I mean? It has cool accomplishments, yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm in this interview with another dude sitting across the table with me that shits, piss, and bleeds just like me. And I realized with that mentality, I'm like, yo, I need to be myself. Cause I mean, if I come into this interview and I act stiffy and I'm trying to, I'm Malcolm Cook and it's like, bro, no. I'm gonna be professional. I'm gonna have, class and shit like that. But I'm not about to switch up who I am in the name of getting employed. And I realized between my work ethic, my genuine good attitude, and being myself, I'm giving this person no other choice but to fuck with me. Period. I'm giving this person no other choice but to fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? So half the battle that I was experiencing in that interview was making sure that I showed who I was. You know what I'm saying? Who I really am. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so one of the questions he asked me, he said, "Yo, if your life was a newspaper headline, what would it be?" And I sat there for a second, and I really was like, I lingered in this because like I was in there for a while, and this was the very last question of the interview. And I sat there and I thought with all my might, and I was like, I thought of like 50 fucking Hallmark card corny ass responses to that question. And the one that I ended up settling on was, Malcolm Cook really needs a job. And I told him that, and I smiled, and he bust out laughing. and so then I went to the interview. I left the interview, and I'm sitting out front. Oh, I lied. When I leave the interview, he goes, here's a job description. I want you to write me a paragraph about what you would do in this scenario. And I didn't know what none of this shit meant, and I had no legit answer. And I'm sitting out front. I go down the street to the Starbucks or the Potbelly's right by where I had the interview. And Lord and behold, my fucking high school history teacher walks up the street. And I'm like, bruh, what the fuck are you doing here? Well, while I got you here, I'm actually in the running to have a job that I'm going to be making $50,000 a year at. Put me on to some game. He read the prompt and he was like, oh, this is really specific, like in detail oriented. I really wouldn't know what to tell you, but good luck, basically. You know what I'm saying? So I sent the prompt to the dude. I didn't send the prompt. I wrote my response, and then I sent the response and the prompt to the dude who plugged me with him in the first place. When I sent it to him, he goes, that's really cool. I would say this. And he rewrote the entire thing for me. So then I took the rewritten entire thing and I gave it to my man. I emailed it back and I got the fucking job. I was working at National Geographic at 22 years old. And the takeaways that I'm sharing this story with you guys are, more than anything, it's the back end work that you don't know why you're doing it. You just know that you're doing it, that sooner or later is gonna fucking pay off. Like, bruh, I don't know what's about to happen with my YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But I know for a fact that the back end work might be preparing me to be a host for somebody else's shit. Or I'm just working with my personal skills. Or this might be therapy for me to get out, and I don't have no success from YouTube. I'm just fucking venting on camera. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the back end is, but I know that this is something that's fulfilling me, and it's better than me sitting here in my house playing with my meat. You know what I'm saying? I'm spending my time doing something a little bit more value. You know what I mean? So number one, I got hired in corporate America with no degree because I did the back end work with no intentions of a reward. I only wanted the knowledge. It's like, if a reward comes, cool, but right now I got to get this work done. I got to learn. You know what I'm saying? That's number one. The other takeaway I shared this entire story with is like, bro, I live in LA now. And I've landed maybe like 2 or 3, maybe even 5 gigs off the strength of me just applying on the internet. But I'ma honestly say, in California, since I lived here, 0% of my money that I've gotten has come from me applying on a website with my resume. It all has come from word of mouth, dapping niggas up, saying what's good with you, you know what I'm saying, and making friends. And then once you make friends, people only gonna fuck with you because industry people are only gonna fuck with you if you fucking with yourself. You know what I'm saying? They gotta have something in it for them. They gotta see some kind of potential in which they want to nurture, help, or be a part of. So yeah, I mean, it's thousands of cameramen out here, but like, do niggas like you? You know what I'm saying? So, being likable and learning on the back end really catapulted what I had going on. A lot of people be like, oh man, that story that you just shared with me is lucky. Nah, bruh, I'm letting you know, every step of that story sucked like shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, the shit was not fun. It wasn't sweet. I was broke. I was crying. I was fucked up. I was begging for money from my mom. Hey mom, like, I need a dub because I'm fucked up. shit was not sweet when I was 20, 21. You know what I'm saying? I was outside. I'm taking a whole drum set on the train and the bus, my nigga, to make it to try to get some money. You know what I'm saying? Bus drivers just waving me. Go ahead, man. Transit, go ahead, man. I see you carrying a whole fucking drum set, bruh. You clearly got something going on the train. So, nah, man, it wasn't no luck. When I met my man over the cigarette, you know, I couldn't have not asked about that case. So then it wouldn't have been confused for luck. You know, when I got on set and they handed me a 5D Mark III, and they could have handed me that same camera, and I could have been ill prepared and not know how to use it and say, oh, where's the on button? Then you wouldn't have been able to confuse it for luck. You know what I'm saying? But when you take opportunity and preparation and line them up, and then motherfuckers want to call you lucky. You know what I'm saying? Bruh, I was begging for an opportunity. I was looking for any reason to have a reason to come up. You know what I'm saying? I didn't care what it looked like. I didn't know where it was going to come from. But I'm like, bro, if I don't put my head down and learn this shit, whenever these tight motherfuckers end up coming around me, they're going to have zero reason to fuck with me. Oh, you're cool. You're a nice guy. You don't know anything. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know everything, but you're not a nice guy. It's like, no. In the game that I'm playing, in the game that we playing, you know, I joined corporate America as a fucking cameraman. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit different than you trying to be a neurosurgeon. But it's a different game that you have to be willing to play. And the weak aren't gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of motherfuckers, you know, I learned the wild fact that, like, black men make, you know, $45,500 is the average income of a black man in America. And I don't know if that's the exact number, or I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard the fact, I heard the statistic. I did a super soft core Google search on it, and it's somewhere around that ballpark. And I'm like, bruh, here I am at 22 with no degree, landing the same position. And I'm like, am I special? No, I'm not special. I put in the work. I put my head down, and I didn't lift that motherfucker back up until something changed. You know what I'm saying? And that comes with intellectual property. Once you start learning shit, once you start taking like education to another level, and I don't mean formal education like saying I'm gonna sit in this classroom. I know a lot of motherfuckers that sat in the classroom that are nincompoops. I'm talking about, no, you gotta be in the field, you gotta be in the trenches, you gotta be touching the stuff, you gotta be talking to the people to become a part of whatever the fuck you trying to be a part of. How the fuck you gonna be a dancer and you ain't around no dancers? How the fuck you gonna get in corporate and you're not around nobody in corporate? You know what I'm saying? How the fuck are you gonna be a chef and you don't know nobody that know how to cook to give you a recipe? How, Sway? How? My man told me. So I got big headed when I was catching my little gigs with my man before I caught my opportunity. Your man said, I made a video that looked pretty good at the time, and playing it back, the video's trash. Man, I'm the tightest nigga out here, man. You got me fucked up. Woody, woo. Y'all niggas ain't fucking with me, man. Woo. And my man is a fucking, like, out of this world artist. You know what I'm saying? And he looked at me and he let me say everything. He let me get my whole cocky man issue off. And he was like, fuck out of here, bro. You're not the best, bro. And I'm like, nigga, the fuck you mean I'm not the best, nigga? I'm outside. Woo. He said, you're not the best because you aren't around the best. That one fucked me up. He said, you're not the best until you're around the best. So I'm like, fuck. My company got to change. You know what I'm saying? And after I've been working on my company, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't talking about my business. When I say working on my company, I'm referring to, you know what I'm saying? Ooh. I was just flipping the camera around, y'all, my bad, to see if I was still in focus. Because I'd have been hot if I recorded this whole jump this whole time and I wasn't in focus. And look, I did, you know what I'm saying? I did this whole little cute circle in the back with the light, and I'm realizing I've been sitting like this the whole time, so you don't even get the symmetry that I intended when I, you know what I'm saying, set the shot. All right, I'm done looking at myself on the screen. I'm gonna flip this bitch back around. Kaboom! So yeah, man. So I landed my job in corporate America by doing the back end work that I didn't know was necessary to get where I was trying to go. I had my definitive purpose at the time was to just get something done. For who and how, I didn't know. But I knew that the only way I can get it done for anyone in any way is if I had the education and the knowledge first. So, and the education to me didn't come in the way of going in the classroom. It came by the way of me picking up something and doing it every day until it made more sense to me, until I got better at it, until I added value to someone's situation. You know what I mean? And then more than that, I ended up growing a hunger and a fucking like yearn and a desire to like come the fuck up. And the only way people gonna fuck with me is only reason why people started fucking with me is because they saw me burning and yearning in that way. Like, I'm talking about really fucking wanting it every step of the way, everywhere I went. I really fucking wanted it. You know what I'm saying? And once you really fucking want it, the universe got a funny ass way of being like, here you go, bruh. And sometimes when you get it, it wasn't what you thought it was gonna be. Then you move on to the next goal. And sometimes when you get it, it's like it changes your life. But you'll never have the opportunity to find out until you do the back end work to see what it looks like. I hate to hear a motherfucker be like, man, this ain't do that. Well, do more. Oh, my man, do more. Oh, do fucking more. Because clearly what you've done isn't good enough yet. And it's not a problem with it not being good enough yet. It'll be a problem with you saying this isn't good enough yet and then stepping off and quitting. That's when it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? That's when you're on stunt mode. That's when you're bullshitting. But to try like shit and to keep on trying with no result is fine. It's fine. Because you'll never know if a result will ever come your way if you don't try. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what came first? The fucking like chicken or the egg? You know what I'm saying? I don't fucking know. So, your attitude, your work ethic, and what you're willing to put in the back end will all get you hired, or not hired, wherever you're trying to be. If you don't got no degree and you trying to apply the shit online, your resume better be fucking lit. You better have done everything that you can do in that field except get a degree to think somebody about to give you their corporate asking job. You know what I'm saying? And for me, up at the time, I did everything that I could do. I applied on every website. I hit everybody up. I did everything. You know what I'm saying? But the one that stuck, the one that changed my life, came from a good attitude, a burning desire to win, and the willingness not to let nobody break my spirit or tell me what I could or couldn't do to get it done. That's my episode for this week. See me next week. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. Peace.